Right, so this is going to be a spoiler review for Barbarian. So if you've not seen Barbarian, I know it just came out, but I wanted to get some stuff off my chest, and I couldn't do that in a spoiler-free review. So this is your last chance to click away a spoiler review of Barbarian. So if you're unfamiliar, Barbarian is about Tess. She is a young woman who is going to an Airbnb one stormy night. However, there's no key, and there's someone living there already named Keith. He's already renting the place. So double book situation, very awkward. But he offers a letter inside at least, so she's out of the rain. And then, you know, she can use the Wi-Fi. She can't find a new apartment or Airbnb or hotel because there's a convention in town. And he decides, you know what? He's going to be the gentleman and allow her to stay. And she's apprehensive at first, but he goes, you know what? You can have the bedroom. There's a lock on the door. You know, that's not an ideal situation, but, you know, it's better than nothing. It's not like she's going to sleep in her car for the whole night. So the movie quickly ends, though, at the beginning, but maybe like halfway, maybe 30 minutes. The first 30 minutes is all character development for Keith and Tess, and I like that aspect because there's a sort of quiet unease if he's like the, you know, if he's bad or not, really. And then the movie has them sleep for a whole night. She goes to a job interview, and he's not home. So when she gets back, though, she accidentally gets locked in the basement, finds this series of tunnels in a weird dungeon in the basement. So she gets locked in there by accident. He's able to get her out, but he goes down there, and they end up getting attacked by a inbred large person. It's a female. They call her the mother. That's kind of like the concept of the movie, that they're being attacked by this large subterranean creature. Not cannibalistic, but, you know, very large and strong, really cool looking creature. And then the movie fades to black, and we quickly jump into a perspective switch to AJ, a spoiled actor who is being investigated for a sexual assault charge, so his career is going to be in the toilet, and he actually owns the house. So too much time is spent on his character, to be honest. You know, they have this long drawn-out car scene, then him talking to his friend, his mom, spending some time in the Airbnb. The movie's really indulgent. I didn't like that aspect. And then basically he finally ends up, you know, getting some guts to look in the basement, and then he finds her, and he gets knocked out immediately, and they get captured. And then the movie does another perspective switch again to tell us basically the origin of the mother. They have this long extended sequence about this creepy older man who's like a serial kidnapper and rapist and killer, I guess. And he's been kidnapping women, and they have babies, and then they grow up, and then he rapes them, I guess, or the incest babies, basically. And all of those have culminated into the mother. So they're trapped down there. Tess is able to escape, but it's only temporarily. And then she's able to get him out, and then they get attacked later. So what didn't I like about this movie? If you've watched my spoiler-free review, I only gave it a 5 out of 10. The biggest thing is that the movie has great tension. I love the suspense and the build-up of the first 30 minutes. You know, Bill Skarsgard's very charming. I really liked his character. I like Tess. But when the movie jumps perspectives, it slows things down to a halt, and you're kind of like sitting there waiting. And then finally, when we get to the last hour of the movie, we basically have so many cliches. It's almost like the people in this movie are allergic to their phones or their car keys. Anything they need to escape, it's just not there. I mean, like, most people have their phone within a couple feet of them at all times. So and that stupid door, there's like a basement door that locks when it closes for no reason. So like when people don't know, they get locked in the basement, and it sucks. And it's just too much lazy writing. There's also the whole ending finale, which is lame too. Basically, she goes back down there only after the large creature like jumps out at her and breaks down 2 doors. So she basically hits it with her car, goes in there to grab him. He accidentally shoots her with a gun. And then they're running around because they don't have the car keys, and they run to a water tower where a homeless man helps them out, and then there's just carnage, but it's so awkward. It's just, the humor's there, but it's just, the movie's so herky-jerky. It just, every time you think the movie's going to end, it keeps going, and then it keeps going, and then they roll the credits, and they have more scenes after. It's just, this is the writer-director's first horror film. He's only done Whitest Kids You Know and Miss March. So it's like his first time, and the acting elevates the film a little bit. The concept, the aesthetic, the don't breathe, dirty houses, the suspense, all of that raises it up to be better than it is. But the script needs a lot of work. There's a lot of lazy writing, bad moments, especially the pretentiousness of the main theme. At the beginning of the film, Tess is ignoring calls from a man named Marcus, probably her ex-boyfriend. She wants a change. That's why she's there. She's there for a job interview, and that never gets brought up again. Only a little bit at the end. So it's almost like the movie was trying to go for like a main theme and then just like threw that out of the window because it didn't fit that in. There's nothing wrong with having a movie with no theme, but don't try to introduce one at the beginning and then just abandon it. It's a waste of time. There's a lot of filler in this movie, like the serial killer scene where they're just like watching him get groceries. Ugh. And then there's the whole perspective switch with AJ. Now, Justin Long's really good in this movie. I really liked him a lot. He plays a really selfish man who we find out that he may have, actually done what he's accused of. And plays around with him being a selfish person a little bit throughout the film. But overall, the ending is just really awkward. It's just... It's stuff we've seen before. I watched an Australian film, a horror film called The Tunnel, and it's very similar. So this one's kind of like that, but a little bit of Don't Breathe thrown in there. I just didn't like the fact that everyone in this movie like acts really over the top. Like whenever she calls a police officer, they're just basically like, we're not going to come over and help you. They might as well just say that when they show up. I mean, that happens twice in the movie, and then yeah, she just doesn't have her wallet or phone or anything on her at all times. Same with AJ. Just too many cliches. I was rolling my eyes every time that stuff happened, So, Barbarian looks good, acting is good, but script isn't. So I give it a 5 out of 10.